to Radio Friends on Friday, July 10th. We have one guest with us today, and that is Dr. David Newman, RoseHeart Hypnotherapy Success Center. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
David. The last time you were on, we were talking about autism.
Yeah.
And you had some fascinating information about the autistic people, and we just didn't have time to get everything in.
Sure.
Let's recap where we were the last time, a month and a half ago, and then pick up
Okay.
there.
Sure. Basically, people with autism are geniuses, are well off the scale of geniuses. They are extremely brilliant people, okay? They're so brilliant that other things that we use to communicate, for example, a lot of facial expressions, eye contact, stuff like that, means absolutely nothing to them, and they won't do it. Also, depending upon the stage of autism, how severe it is or not severe it is, the people on the whole have a tendency to have a lack of empathy. In other words, I'm going to speak the absolute truth to you, and I don't care about your feelings because they cannot pick up the information that I've hurt your feelings. It's just I'm speaking very, very clearly.
But if they are geniuses,
Yeah.
why is it they can't pick up the fact that they've hurt your feelings?
Because they are so focused elsewhere in their brilliance. One of the things that I always like to do, and it's kind of a poor example, I will admit, but there is a TV show called Bones, and you have Temperance, who works for the Jeffersonian, and she is an absolute genius, but she also has no boundaries when she says something to you. Like you can say, oh gosh, I really should have seen, like this crack in the bone, and she'd go, well, of course you should have, but you didn't. She doesn't realize that that person takes that personally because for her it's just facts. And when you're dealing with autism, that's the way these people's minds work. Okay? Brilliant? Absolutely. But do they fit with our norms and social norms? Not always. And that's okay because for them, they're normal. We're the ones that are a little bit odd. And when we deal with people with autism, a lot of the professionals out there try to take the person and put them into our square, our mold. And that doesn't work. We can't do that. We can't superimpose our value system or the way we respond to something onto this group of people. They just work at a totally different level. So if I could give you an example, we had a referral that came in a few weeks back. I only met with him one time, but he's 12 years old, and his name's Nicholas. Brilliant kid. And just a short time that I was with him, I mean, his brilliance was really showing. His mom's over there, and his mom's being very protective, okay, as most parents are of autistic children, being very protective. I said, just sit there and let me talk to Nick. And so I talked to him, and I started asking him questions in a language that he could understand, very specific language, very precise, going on. And what I found out is he was very visual. He could see things in his mind. We started off with like a baseball, and then we went up. Then I started having him do some mathematics, geometry in his head. Can you see this? What would happen if we rotated it around? And he could do that. Then I just took a chance, and I started doing some electrical type things with him, circuits, things like that. He could see those in his mind. And so I said, what would happen if I did this, this, and this? And he goes, it won't work. I go, why? Because right here, this is where that circuit will break every single time. Well,
and he's a 12-year-old kid.
He's a 12-year-old kid and never had experience doing this. Okay, he could see it. So I looked at his mom and I said, you're in business. I said, let's put him as part of your business. And she just kind of looked at me and I said, how would you feel about doing some applications for your mom's business? Okay, where you could work with it on the pad or on the smartphone. There's got to be thousands of things that you could do. And he goes, well, sure, mom's doing da-da-da-da-da-da, and it'd be really simple to do da-da-da-da-da-da. I go, great, why don't you do that? He goes, I don't know how to code. And I said, so why don't you get on iTunes University and learn how to code? It's free. Just go ahead and do it. You've got the best schools in the world, and it's free. You don't get a certificate, but who cares? You're going for knowledge. In a week and a half, he's learned to code. He's doing it. His mother called me and she goes, you're not going to believe this. He's introducing himself as an application developer now when he talks to people.
He's 12 years old.
He's 12 years old.
He's a 12-year-old autistic genius.
Yeah, all autistic people are geniuses, all of them.
So what do you say to somebody who then is overly protective, perhaps even holding that autistic person back by being overly protective?
Well, sure, that's the fear. And every parent has a fear of their child not succeeding or failing. And oftentimes, especially in the more severe autistic individuals, they'll have what we refer to as meltdowns, where they can go from being okay to almost being out of control very, very quickly. And of course, the parent immediately feels like they are the only one that can help them. They've got to be there to protect the child, because if not, somebody's going to freak out and call the police and they're going to take him away or whatever. And really, what we need to do is shift the way of thinking of the parent, and that will automatically make a shift in the child. And I brought a slide, if we could,
Okay,
if we
go
could
ahead,
look
real
at
quick.
it. What we have is what we call an emotional guidance scale. And on the right-hand side, you see the downward spiral, and on the left-hand side, you see the upward spiral. Where I usually will see most people is right around, on the negative side, right around 12, maybe, in the 13 area. And that's kind of the normal. What I have to do is start at wherever they're at, because usually it is on the downward side. This is like you were talking about with the parent that's overprotective. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I start moving them up the scale and turning things more positive and why they can do things. Just like with Nicholas. He was getting frustrated in school. They put him in the quote-unquote dumb classes, the remedial classes and stuff. Oh, he was anything but dumb. I mean, he got it. He got it the first time. Leave me alone. Let me go on. So what we did is we started moving him up that scale. And when we did, we started making tremendous advances very, very quickly. And that's very typical. But the problem comes in is so many people that work with autistic individuals are trying to take them and put this person into my head. And that doesn't work, because we're two totally different type of people. Our thinking patterns are totally different.
Okay. That is amazing, and it's fascinating.
It is.
And what you're saying is every autistic person out there can be a very productive person.
Absolutely.
With the right
Well,
assistance.
it's just like I read an article in the paper where a child that had been institutionalized for years finally got out of the government institution, and they found out that he tested higher in IQ than Einstein. But yet they'd been treating him like an idiot.
What's the phone number for more information?
888-604-9997.
Okay.
Or go to our website, which is www.mohyp.com.
Oh, you're fascinating. Dr. David Newman, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Monday, Foster Grandparents and MU Healthcare. Our program directed by Travis McMillan, Reynolds Journalism Institute, audio, Pat Akers, KBIA. Our floor director, Lowell Thomas, and our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. Bye-bye.